left off last week talking about how we connect emotionally to money, our emotional attitudes toward money, and how we feel about money. And I sent you guys home and said, go home and think about how you feel about money, how you feel when it's time to make decisions about money. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Did y'all do that?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I just, for me, I realized that I was a little afraid to talk about, like my finances and stuff like that. So I decided to, when I talk to someone, meet someone, like engage about, talking about money.
Okay. What is it that you're afraid of? What do you see in yourself that makes you afraid to talk about your finances?
I'm not smart with money.
Okay.
I have spells when I am, and then I go on this, oh man, I deserve it, and
yeah.
I go and like splurge, so to speak. So to go against the grain on that, I reached out to Rico.
Good deal.
Yeah, and we sat down and we went over a budget, which hopefully it helps out down the line. So.
Good deal. Okay, cool deal. So you noticed you were scared to talk about money, and so you tried to get out of your comfort zone and start doing it a little more. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
For me, I feel like when it comes to paying bills, as long as I have enough, it's no problem. It's just when it gets tight. For me, helping other people, helping people in my family or overseas. For me, I know that they need it and so forth, and when I can help them, I help them. But I think when it comes to paying bills and stuff like that, I pay it, but sometimes my level of paying the bill to get it down as quick as possible is higher. And then when I do the calculation, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go back and redo it, because I'm going to be over. I'm going to overspend because I want to get rid of the credit card. I want to get rid of, all of the payments that are not continuous.
Okay.
So for me, releasing it sometimes it could bring you in stress and
when you let the money go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you don't have anything to hold on to, I feel like that's where the stress point comes in for me, because I like to be able to make more money, to be able to help other people, but also have money for
yourself.
For myself.
So when money's a little tight, you feel your
stressed.
emotions.
Yes,
okay, tied to it.
Oh, headaches and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I get headaches.
What about you, Martha?
For me,
You don't gotta. If you didn't think about it, if you didn't do the homework, that's okay.
right, but
I'm kidding.
I mean, for me, there's never been an actual. It's not like I don't know how to budget. It's not like I don't know what the budget, to put the spend to the food and all.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
It's never been I don't know how would you say it. It's never been where it's structured that I could just sit down.
Never had a system to it, so it's it's always been chaotic.
Always, and I don't have even when I was in college and in school, you take the business courses, you do this and that, but when it comes down to the actual, when you life and you begin to do what you need to do, then it's different.
And the interesting thing about what you just said, you said even in college and business. Did you want to add something that you know of? Okay, cool. It's interesting that you said in college and business and stuff like that. Like college business courses, it technically teaches you how to run somebody else's business. It doesn't teach you how to start, create, structure your own, or even do that for your own personal self. It just teaches you how to see a system that already exists and tells you what to do inside of that system. And so when people say, I'm going to open up a business, I'm in college for business, I say, well, you're going to fail, because that's not what's going to teach you how to build, create, and start a business. So
when actually in life situations.
Right. So those emotional feelings that we feel, fear, stress, chaotic, and out of sorts. You want to add something? No. Okay. Roger that. Okay, that's what's up. So, I tell people you can't let your countenance rise and fall with finances. One of my mentors, he actually passed away last year. He was an investor and a mentor of mine. And he taught me this years ago when I met him. He said, money is a resource. Like water, like air. He said, there's nothing that you should be intrinsically tied to. But I believe that because we feel like money is this, for most of us, money is like we get to a place where there's a deficit of money. You don't trip out because you don't have any water at the house. You just go buy some more water. Even if you can't buy water till tomorrow, you don't be like, oh my God, what am I do? Because you don't tie your emotions to that resource, water or air, because it's always there. And so when you talk about money, because it's not always there, we develop all of these feelings about not having it. And it starts, I think, with what you talked about fear, the fear of money. And we talked about this a little bit in the first orientation. We grow up under parents that don't understand money, around people that don't understand money, in environments that don't understand money, who grew up around, with parents who didn't understand money, so on and so forth, and they pass it down. And like what you said, because we know we don't deal with money properly, because we may not have as much as we wish we had, or we can say because we're insecure. And that's really what it boils down to. Financially, I'm insecure. And whenever somebody is insecure, they don't want to talk about it. It don't matter where your insecurities lie. When you're insecure, you don't want to talk about it. It's a secret. And that's where most of us are financially. We're insecure about finances because we don't have any. We're insecure about finances because we know we don't understand it. We're insecure about finances. We don't know what to do. And so I don't really want to talk about that and let people know that I don't know. I don't want to put that out there like that. But think about when the person is confident. People ask me all the time, why do I share so many of the foolish things that I did in my life? So many of the bad decisions, so many of the mistakes. Because I don't care. I'm over them. And if I'm over them, I'm confident about it. I tell you ever see somebody go through something, or had to go to counseling, and people, I think it's common knowledge at this point in 2019 that if you can't talk about it, you're not really over it. Does that make sense? Same thing with money. If you can't talk about it, you're not over the fact that you're not over your insecurity about money. And this is no different from abuse or divorce or something that you've dealt with. When you know that you're over it, you can talk about it. Yeah, man, I made a mistake and I did this, or I've been through a divorce, or I did that, because you're over it. It doesn't bother you anymore. Yes, sir.
And also, to caveat that, I think that once you get the elephant out the room, like with yourself, is saying the worst of it, right? Like
yeah.
It becomes so easy to do.
It becomes so easy at that point. And I started a cleaning company, and we were growing. And I had a partner at the time, and it was real tight. And we had some clients who had to pay us, and he would be like, "Did they pay yet? Did they pay yet? Did they pay yet?" And I'm like, "Dude, calm down. But they ain't paid us. We gotta get. I gotta pay my bills." And he was just so desperate, so I don't have any. You know what I'm saying? And what that tells people is, what that says to people is that I don't know if I want to work with you anymore. Hello, how are you? Good. Come on, you guys want to sit over here so you don't have to walk in front of the... And not there just for the money. I'm sorry, go ahead. Not there just for the money, but they're in desperation. It's an indicator that you don't know how money works. 30-day net when you're dealing with companies. It's an indicator that your life is not structured well, because if you're waiting for this check to come in from that guy to pay your rent, that tells your partners and everybody involved, you may not be the guy we want to be in business with. So all of our insecurities that come out, you ever heard somebody say that when you got money, money just finds you? And when you ain't got none, it's like it stays away. Or I heard people say, when I was broke, I couldn't go nowhere. Now that I got money, people don't let me pay for stuff. it's this confidence that comes, and it's almost like an insecure dude. You ever, and for ladies, insecure guy, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Sophia. My name is Joseph, and I was just kind of, I think you're kind of cute, and I was wondering. He's like, dude, like I don't want to talk to you. I don't care how cute you might be, cause you're insecure. I can see it. You know what I'm saying? But how many people ever see somebody that wasn't all that handsome, but their confidence made you attracted to them? It's the same way financially, and that's what people are experiencing, but they don't realize it. When you're confident financially, things about money are attracted to you. When you're insecure financially, it repels you. The same way it does with dating. It don't matter how fine a dude is or a girl is, when they insecure and needy, it's just like, that's just unattractive, and I don't care how pretty your smile is, like I'm not attracted to you. And you come across people who are confident, they're joyful, even they dress well, all of this kind of stuff that their confidence is just bleeding out of them. Something about them says, okay, yeah, I want to be next to this person. Same thing financially. When you're insecure financially, people with money can tell. When you're afraid to talk about money, people with money can tell that you might not be somebody I want to deal with. You don't even want to talk about money. How are we gonna? It's kind of like and this might, when I'm dating somebody, I want to know how many people you've been with. And the reason I want to know is because I want to know your perception and perspective of sexuality, of relationships, of how sacred your body is to you, so on and so forth. And when they don't even want to talk about it, I already know I don't want to mess with you. I don't care if it's one. The fact that you don't want to talk about it means that in your own mind something's wrong with it. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't care if it's a whole lot. Somebody says, yeah, you know what, when I was young, I was a fool. I've been with such people. I've learned since then that that's not the way you want to do it. I just want to see how confident the person is. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when it comes to finances. When I'm dealing with somebody, they're scared to talk about money, what we got on the table, y'all, what we're working with. So what is your company doing right now? What is your company doing right now? Okay, so how can we come together? When people don't want to, it's like, I can't, I don't. I see your insecurity, and insecurity repels things. And insecurity puts you in a position where you're, what's that word? When a person is insecure, insecure breeds desperation. And when you're desperate, what desperate says is, in a pinch, when the pressure's on, I'm going to take care of me. Huh? Oh, yes. And so I can't have a person in my world that's insecure or desperate, because if we get in the jam, you're only going to look at you. It breeds this self-preservation thing. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to practice getting out of your comfort zone financially. I'm not afraid to talk about money. I'm not afraid to talk, I don't feel like it's none of your business. I mean, what is it going to hurt if you know how much money I make? Or somebody might rob you. It ain't in my pocket. Hello, how are you? Good. You guys understand what I'm saying? Well, don't let nobody know that your company's doing $100,000 a year. Why not? Because guess what investors want to know? What my company's doing. So I'll tell somebody in a minute, when my cleaning company was doing $250,000 a year, I didn't have a problem telling people that. Number one, I'm confident. Why? Because it's a lot. Do you see what I'm saying? But when you know you're broke and can't have to pay the rent, I don't want to talk about it. That's just none of your business. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't be tied to your finances emotionally. Money can't move you. You can't let it move you in your inner self. Because if you do, you're up and happy and joyful when you got it, and you're down and lowing about when you don't got it. And if it's connected to you, emotionally, you may do things that you shouldn't do to get it. You know what I'm saying? You may set your standards to the side for it, because it's tied to you emotionally. There's even I don't take jobs and I don't take opportunities just because of the money. I teach people all the time, never take a job for the money. They're like, what do you mean? I said, no, poor people take jobs just for the money. Wealthy people take jobs for the opportunity, the experience, the proximity, what it's going to get me long term, relationship wise, because there's relationships, all money ain't good money. Well, I know that when I'm dealing with a partner. No, period. You shouldn't jump at a thing because, they paying how much? It still might not be for you. I'll take a lesser paying job, if you will, because I need to get next to that guy. I've been trying to meet that guy forever. Who owns that company? I've been wanting to meet him. I'll work in the mailroom for a minute. I've taken jobs. I remember I got a job at a temp agency. I had my suit on. I'm driving down the street. When my boys are here visiting for the summer, we usually ball out of control. And I was like broke. I was like dead broke. I was sitting on E and had some bills to pay. So I don't trip out. I know how to make money. So I get in my car. I go through my phone and I'm driving. I'm finna go find my money. Same way if I was hungry, I open up the refrigerator to see what resources are there. So I get in my car and I go out in this big world and see what resources are there. And I'm finna go make some paper. And I see this sign that says hiring, and it's a temp agency. And I saw it, and for a quick second, I was like, turn it in. I'm not turning no temp agency. And I was like, okay, I'll turn. And I'm hesitant to say God say it, stuff like that. But I just felt like, okay, I did a U-turn, and I got on a suit. I'm suited up. So I can't walk in this temp agency like I'm a big fella. You got on a suit. Why are you in a temp agency if you're balling out of control? You know what I'm saying? I can't go in there talking about my businesses that I own. I said, okay, well, why am I in here? So I'm standing there and I'm watching the people move around. And I said to myself, I think she owns this. The lady, there was one of the ladies back there. I saw everybody back there, but one lady in particular, I said, I think she's probably the owner. Because again, success leaves clues. You can recognize sometimes who owns a thing. And I heard, then at some point I heard her talk to a guy that walked in, and then he walked out. And she says this, in front of not just me, but everybody there. But I think I'm the only one that heard what I heard. Everybody else, we all heard the same thing, but I heard something different. Do you see what I'm saying? So she was like, yeah, that's Tom. He retired. He moved here from South Florida. He got so much money, it's ridiculous. All these little girls he dating, he was an older guy. So he messed with all these little, they taking all his money. He just here spending money like crazy. And then again I said, so he said it to everybody. But I said to myself, and you know other millionaires. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I said, yeah, I need to know her. And so when she got to me, I'm real quick trying to figure out, what do you say? Because you can't be in here trying to act like a big shot. You're standing in a temp agency in a suit, so you kind of look crazy. And so when she got to my turn, I said, yeah, I'm Joseph, man. I'm just trying to supplement some income right now. I got a nonprofit that we deal with youth, and I do. And I'm trying to supplement some income while we build up the nonprofit. So just wondering if you have anything. And she was like, oh, yeah, da, da, da. I said, and then, so we talked about what she had for work, and I said, as a matter of fact, once we settle, me working with you guys, would you mind if I came by one day and we sat down for lunch and chatted about how I might be able to grow my nonprofit? And she was like, I would love that. Da, 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 da. Because again, I know who she is now, and I want to create this relationship. And so she said, yeah, I would love to do something like that. I wouldn't mind at all. And I was like, yes. And so she was like, so the jobs we got Comcast, 40 hours a week, $10 an hour. And I was like, and she said, and we got Walmart. And Walmart, we're paying $8 an hour, and 40 hours a day shift and a night shift. She said, you know what though? She said, we need somebody to run those little shifts. And we'll pay that person $9 an hour. And I said to myself, okay. I said, I think the Walmart one, if I'm running the shift, I'm going to have to check in with her. That's going to create a reason to chat and relationship. Do you see what I'm saying? And I said, okay. And on top of that, I'm finna run something. So I get to work on my leadership skills. So I got to be the liaison between the actual Walmart store and their managers and leading the people that works there. I said, I'll do the little Walmart thing. And I ain't gonna lie, I was ashamed. I got on my khaki pants and my blue t-shirt, and I'm hiding from people walking in the mall that I might know. Don't see me. And after about 8 months of doing this, and many opportunities came for me to serve her, which is a whole nother conversation when we get down the line. And what I was waiting for her to say is, hey, come here. I got something to say. I want to talk to you. I was waiting for her to say it. I knew she would eventually because I shine. Of course I shine. I'm me in an environment where everybody is temps. You know what I'm saying? So after it was over, I would just shoot her a text every now and then. Hey, just checking in. How you guys doing today? And finally, she texted me back. She said, hey, I want to talk to you about something. Can you come over to the house? I said, that's the one I was waiting on. So we get there, we come to the house, $400,000 house, and I'm sitting at the dining room table, what they plan to do for their next project. I said, well, let me kind of share with you a little bit of who I am. I said, I do this, and I do this, and I do this. And I said, I could probably take your 10 people and make them look like and feel like full-time employees. And we had a contract for like $2,000 a month for like 6 months, just teaching her temps and making her temps feel to come. Temps don't care. They come and go when they want to. And everybody knows this. They pay for temps because it's a little cheaper, but we all know jokes. They won't call, they won't show up. And I'll just go back to the temp agency and say, can you replace me? And then we'll replace them. And you know what I'm saying? So I said, I can make your temps feel like employees. And so, but again, this was almost a year process. But so the point of the story is, I didn't do this because, oh my God, I'm finna ball out of control, finna make a lot of money. No, I knew I wanted to create a relationship with this young lady. And I knew she knew other millionaires. And since then, she's introduced me to some really, really, really cool people, great opportunities that come from it. But I wasn't ashamed to be, well, I was ashamed, but I did it anyways. But you guys get my point? I'm in Walmart 8 hours a day, feet hurting, khaki pants and a blue t-shirt. But I did it because of what I was working toward. I didn't let my emotions be tied to the money. I'm too good for that. Are you crazy? No. I got something I'm doing. Or when somebody says, hey, we'll give you $30,000 to do what? Nah, I'm not doing that. You don't want to make? I do, but not doing that. I'm not tied to it. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't move me. I'm not chasing it down. It doesn't make me feel greater. It's just a resource. I'm indifferent. Sometimes you have money, sometimes you don't. Money's designed to go in and to go out, and to go in and to go out. And if you do it well, when it goes out, it comes in with more money. But again, you don't have this desperate feel on you. People stay away from desperation. People stay away from hustlers. We know this. And when you want to deal with other business owners and other people who are making money, and they can feel that on you, they want to be bothered. You're nice, so we'll deal with you like at arm's length. We won't let you come any closer than that. So kudos to you. Practice. Talk about money. Don't be afraid of it. If you ain't got nothing, it's okay. One of my mentors, I watched him. This was so funny. When he was balling out of control, he didn't mind talking about what money he had. But when he went rock bottom, he didn't mind talking about it either. Do you see what I'm saying? He lost his $500,000 house. His business went away. And he was one of the first guys I asked to invest in my company many years ago. He said, man, the truth is, Joseph, he said, I'm stressed right now. I'm going to lose the house. The company's gone. And he said, I don't have it. I don't have it. And I didn't see him like, I would have been an idiot to say, well, I knew we was the same. I knew you wasn't special. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say that. I listened. I said, okay. And then he sat me down and he taught me some things about money. He said, look, money comes from money. You need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do it. And he set me on a course that changed my life. But the very next year, this man had a company doing $6 million a year. You know why? Because he knows what he's doing. Money doesn't bother him like that. He had it. He don't got it. He's just going to get it again. It's the same idea when you go in your kitchen, you make a sandwich, you eat it up, and you leave. You say, I'm still hungry. You don't have a fit. You walk in the kitchen, you just make another sandwich. It's the same way when you know how to make money, when you know how money works. I had it. I don't have it. I had it. I don't have it. Let's go make some more. It's okay. You're indifferent.
How can you basically develop skills where you feel like you're not emotionally tied to money? I mean, how? Because it seems like it's a part of you, having it in your hand or in your account or whatever, and releasing it. I mean, how do you basically not feel like, when you have a lot of money, there's a level of comfort that you feel like, okay, I feel security.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of it, and there's 1,001 bills coming your direction, and you got to pay this, you got to pay that, the insecurity.
It comes with practice. Think about a fireman. You ever see you probably ain't never seen one in real life run into a burning building. Some of you may have. We see it on TV all the time. But this is what they do. They run into burning buildings. They do it well. And they come out with people, right? people who wouldn't have made it out on their own. Think about that. Now, you got somebody trapped in a house in a room. You got a fireman that goes in. Why couldn't that person get out by themselves? Because when the fireman goes in, they both come out. So the fireman knew how to get out without getting burned. The person did not. The fireman seems like he's not scared. And I don't think that he is afraid. I think he reverences the strength that power has. But because he understands fire, he don't trip out about it. We don't understand fire. We don't know what doors we can't touch. We don't know about the backdraft. I know it was a movie. You know what I'm saying? We don't know which path to take. We don't know when the wind is blowing. We don't know what's the indicators that don't go in that hallway, go in this hallway, so on and so forth. So they can walk into a fire, a house on fire, and walk out safe because they understand how fire works. And same thing with money. And they've done this over and they've practiced, and they've practiced, and they've practiced, and they've practiced, and they've been to class, and they've practiced, and they've been to class, and then they practiced, and they've been to class, and they practiced over and over and over again. And then when the house is on fire, they don't say, oh my God, the house is on fire. What do we do? This is what we've been practicing for. You run in there. It's second nature. Same thing with money. We got to practice. You got to practice getting out of your comfort zone financially. You got to practice talking about it when you got it. Practice talking about it when you don't. Sometimes when I got a lot, I practice not saying nothing. To tell myself, quiet down. Don't let your emotions rise because you feel good about the money you got. And then when I don't got some, I don't mean I'm like, man, I'm so broke. I don't mean like that. I mean like when somebody say, hey Joe, can I hold $20? Instead of just saying, instead of saying something clever, just say, you know what, man, the truth is, right now, I'm a little financially strapped. I don't have it. And I say that with a confidence to prove to me I'm not going to be emotionally tied to this. You see what I'm saying? Right now, man, I'm only, I told him, I said, look, dude, we just lost $10,000 a month. Right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. And that's the truth. Man, that'll make you feel insecure? A little bit, but it's practice. I'm not going to let my emotions be tied to this. And so, and you got to just practice. And being in this class, you're learning about money. The more you know about how money works, the more confidence you get about your ability to possess money and make it do what you want it to do, the less you feel like it's running you. Do you understand that?
Can you repeat that? The more confident you feel about money?
Oh, Lord. The more confident you feel about money and your ability to handle it, the more confident you'll be when it comes to how you present yourself where money is concerned. We feel bad about ourselves when we don't have money because we let that paint a picture to us that there's something wrong with us. Wealthy people, when they don't have no money, they don't get ashamed of it because they know how to make it. They know it's not an indicator of who they are. It's an indicator that, hey, sometimes it just happens. Do you see what I'm saying? So when I lost that 10 grand a month, I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, okay. It was my first loss. It was my first big loss. And they took my truck. I went outside and my truck was gone. And I started crying. Like, I'm just being real. I started crying. I was like, oh Lord. And then I remembered some successful people. I remember my spiritual dad and my pastor. And I said, no, you tighten up. You don't let this get you down like that. Then I called a few friends of mine. They was like, dude, how long you been in business? I said, 3 years. They said, you doing how much a year? I said, at that time, like $120,000 a year, $140,000 a year. They said, and you just now taking a hit? But you're doing good. But if I don't know this, I tie my uneducated emotions to it. It was like, yeah, what are you tripping over? Do you know how many people hit your spot in 6 months? In a year? You've been balling out of control for 3 years, and you just now taking a $10,000 hit? Par for the course, brother. There's nothing bad going on. It just happens sometimes. You see what I'm saying? But if I was afraid to talk about it, I wouldn't have been able to get this information, this new information. Does that make sense? So you got to practice. You got to practice, and that's what the next thing is. You got to search for new information when it comes to making financial decisions to help you avoid overestimating or underestimating the power that money has in your life. versus your knowledge and capabilities. You understand what I mean when I say that? Search for new information, making financial decisions. For when it comes to making financial decisions, it helps you avoid overestimating or underestimating the power that money has in your life versus your knowledge and capabilities. See, money has no power in my life. I don't overestimate its power in my life. I don't underestimate its necessity in my life. I tie my ability to make money to my capabilities and my knowledge. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? So, and I tell people, money will control you, or you will control it. Money will tell you what to do, what you can do, what you can't do, where you can't go, how long you can go for, what kind of car you can drive. It'll tell you all that stuff, or you will tell it what to do. And the decision is yours. But if you give money too much power in your life, you know, there's a verse in the Bible for some people that's Christian that says the love of money is the root of all evil, so they just stay away from being educated financially. But there's another verse in the Bible that says money answers all things. I said, you got to reconcile those two. And we talked about it, I think, at our orientation. And of course, the wrong relationship with material things will destroy anything. But what about the part that says money answers all things? There's not many problems that a person has that if you put a dollar amount in front of it, that problem goes away. The great majority of the problems that we have, if you put a dollar amount in front of it, it goes away. That's what it means when they say money answers all things. I mean, it won't help you keep your marriage intact if you're an idiot. But for the most part, all of the problems that we have, you look at them. Like I said, and we talked about it before, sickness, put a dollar amount in front of it. I believe that they got cures for cancer and AIDS and all this kind of stuff. You just got to have enough money to pay for it. You know, even counseling, if you got issues. And I know so many people, I can't afford counseling. Again, put a dollar amount in front of it, it goes away. Yes, sir. Oh, nothing? But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So money answers all things, and the love of money is the root of all evil. And that's what I mean when I say you can't give it too much power. But you can't underestimate its dire necessity. You have to find this reconciliation of how it goes, and the only way to do that is to have this knowledge in yourself, this confidence in yourself. I know it's fire. I know I got to run in that house. But because I understand fire, I'm not scared. I just do what I know I need to do to make sure I get in and get out properly, to make sure I get in and save what I need to save and get out properly. I'm not afraid of it. I understand it. I honor it. I don't walk in all frivolous like, because it is fire and it will burn you. So I'm going to walk in with the level of respect that fire has. It will burn your tail. But because I understand how fire works, I know where to go, I know what to do, I know how fire. Do you see what I'm saying? Same with money. I know I got to have it. And I know without it, I can't do nothing. My life is going to be horrible if I ain't got none. And I understand that. But I ain't scared of that. Because I'm not going to let it run me. I'm not going to let it tell me what to do. I'm not going to let it make me a bad person. That's not happening. So I understand what money is, I understand how it goes, and I understand how it works. And so when I deal with it from a place of confidence and respect. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, searching for new information, coming into this class. And on my radio show I talk about it. Be a critical thinker when it comes to finances. Don't just hear people tell you what you can and can't do when they ain't got no money. I don't listen to broke people tell me what I can't do financially. Oh, Joe, you might not want to invest. What if you lose? You're already losing. I tell people, you are an investor. No, I'm not. I would never invest my money in the stock market or anything else, because what if I lose? I said, the shirt you have on, where'd you get it from? Walmart. You invested in Walmart. You just didn't get a return on your money. You are an investor already, but you're making nothing. You're investing in the movie theater. You're investing in Starbucks. You're investing in, Cheetos and Cheerios. You're investing in all these other people's companies, and you get no return. So I tell people, don't be afraid to invest. You're already investing. You're not making nothing. But again, it's like that fire. They're afraid to invest because they don't understand it. They don't even know they're already investing and they're losing. At least when I invest, I have an opportunity to win. Even if I do lose, at least I got myself a shot. You're losing all day, every day, and don't even know it. And wind up broke at the end. At least if I'm looking for new information, I'm studying, I'm trying to find new ways to invest. But eventually, guess what? I'm going to hit. I'm going to find it. Eventually, I'm gonna win. You know, I'm gonna be successful. But not you, because you're not even trying. You just continuously, frivolously invested in all this other stuff with no opportunity to have anything come back in. So read, study, talk to successful people, talk to people with money, pay attention. Success leaves clues. I don't let people, again, I want to start a new company. I wouldn't do that. How come? Well, what if you're not doing it? I'm not listening to you. You work at AT&T, Joker. You're scared of everything. Well, I wouldn't try that because my auntie tried to own a company and she failed. So I'm gonna compare myself to a person that already failed. That's like telling your kid, baby, you might not ever want to shoot a basketball because I shot one before and I missed. That sounds stupid, don't it? That really sounds stupid when you say it like that. Yeah, I wouldn't shoot that ball. What you mean you wouldn't shoot it? Well, I shot a ball before. It didn't go in the basket, so you probably don't want to shoot it. That don't even make no sense when you say it that way. But that same people, I wouldn't start a business. Why? Because your daddy started a business. It didn't work, so you probably don't want to do that. I'm not gonna, because you failed. I'm gonna fail because you failed. Don't listen to those guys. When I say go find new information, they ain't the ones. Read a book. The Millionaire Next Door is a great book. Cash Flow Quadrant is a great book. What's the Rich Dad Poor Dad? Man, that book changed my life. It changed my life. Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Cash Flow Quadrant. Think and Grow Rich is a great book. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's from the same Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki wrote both of those, the Cash Flow Quadrant and Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Millionaire Next Door, I can't remember who wrote that, and I think Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. But those are just a few books that'll change your life forever, man. There's a book called The Millionaire Mind. I can't even remember that man's name, but that's a great book to read. So go find new information. Go to seminars. Go to workshops. Don't be afraid. You got to do this stuff. Because if you don't, how do you get the information you need to become confident in handling the money so it don't handle you? You know, again, and practice talking about it. Practice being unafraid to discuss it. I like talking about money with people because they may have financial ideas that I don't know.
Right.
And so if I don't talk to you about money, how do I know I might learn something?
Right.
You know how many people I've talked to money about and they say, yeah, I invested over here. What? With who? How'd you do that? Oh my God, I never thought about it that way. And I just learned something because I wasn't afraid to talk about money. Hey man, I just started doing something. I'm losing out of my butt right now. I'm going broke trying to do this thing. Yeah? Well, what are you doing? I'm doing this. No, that ain't how you do it. Well, how you do it? You see what I'm saying? People, when you talk to people not afraid of it, now you know. And then you know real quick who don't know. Because when you start talking about it, and they start talking about it, you're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You see what I'm saying? So you got to practice these things. You got to practice these things. But yeah, you definitely got to go get some new information. And I always talk about think critically when navigating financial problems. Weigh options, evaluate, know the facts. Think critically. Like, I'm trying to think of how to get people to really be a critical thinker. Look at a scenario and don't just believe what you've always believed. You know what I'm saying? When somebody's up in front of the room teaching financial literacy, and I'm watching them teach it, and I'm like, you look broke. I'm not listening to you. Well, you criticize it. No, I'm using critical thinking. Something about the way you stand, the way you talk, the way you act, your confidence, the way you wear your suit that's 2 sizes too big, your shoes is dusty, your nails ain't clean. I don't think you know anything about money, but they'll throw anybody up in front of a room as quick as her talking about financial literacy. They don't know nothing about finances. That's what I mean when I say think critically. Look at a scenario and don't just believe what's in front of you. Use your own common sense. Use your own logic. Something has to say to you, I think this is right. I think this is real wisdom here. Do you see what I'm saying? And use your own critical thinking. You've got to think critically when it comes to solving problems financially. You know, and for example, I think Martha saw this. There's a lady, you saw it, I know for sure you saw it. There's a lady in our first orientation class, and it's so funny because I don't know if she's ever going to, she never did register for the class, but in that class, she pulled out a picture of about 15, 20 women that she goes to China with every year. And I know she broke because she complained about money. That's how I know when people broke. People that ain't broke don't complain about money. Even when I'm on my downtime, my downslope, I don't complain about money because I know what I know. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I'm watching these 20 women on this paper. They go to China every year. They've been doing it for like 12, 13 years. And the first thing I thought about, as soon as she showed me, I said, and who's booking these trips? And she was like, yeah, it's a company called da-da-da-da-da. And I said, none of you 20 women, after the third year, said to yourself, why don't I get my travel agent license and make this money every year? Do you see what I'm saying? No critical thinking. I saw the same thing she saw. She'd been seeing it longer than I saw it. How come when I saw it, I saw an opportunity and she didn't? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. No critical thinking at all when it comes to finances. People just, you gotta be a critical thinker. You gotta see opportunity. I sat down with 3 other people the other day about starting a real estate company. There was a young lady that I'm mentoring financially, and she says to me, I don't know what I want to do. I said, well, this is what we do. And I have a couple of things I do when I coach people. I said, we're going to look at your key performance indicators. We need to know debt to income ratio. We need to know your credit score. We need to know, life insurance and real-time investments. Those are the things that we look at. And she said, well, my credit is good. I said, well, what's your credit score? Everybody said my credit is good. I said, what's your credit score? She said 780. I said, well, I said, well, we can help you do some things then. And then I was talking to another friend of mine, a guy named Tim, and I was like, I said, hey man, what do you really want to do, man? Like, I've been knowing you for a while. You see me doing my thing. You work hard. You do contract work. So what do you want to do? He said, I really want to get into real estate investing and stuff like that. I said, well, look, I just had a meeting with a young lady that we were talking about doing some real estate stuff because she got a 780 credit score. I said, what do you have to bring to the table? She said, I got about 10 grand and my credit score is like a 720. I said, oh, okay. And then another young lady that I know who does wholesaling houses. I call her up. I say, hey, look, you've been talking about getting back in the wholesale game for a minute. I got 2 people that want to do a real estate company. Why don't we get together and create something? So we had a meeting the other day. We came up with a name, and we're working out the lines of credit. And I'm not trying to figure out what to do. I have an investor. She already owns 10 properties, ATM machines, apartment complex, a laundromat. So we're going to follow her instructions, not figure out what to do next. Follow the instructions so we can be, cut out the learning curve and almost guarantee success. And, but again, just opportunity. When I said, okay, well, you got this. I said, well, let's do this. She said, I never thought about that. Of course you didn't, because you're not critically thinking. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Don't just be okay with the way things are. Start thinking. People say, think outside the box. They say, yeah, that's it. Think outside the box. I said, no, that's not it. There is no box. Thinking outside the box is still saying that there's a box. There is no box. Whatever you want to be real, that's what's real. Whatever you want to create, that's what can exist. Everything that you see, somebody made it up. And that's the one thing that I think the biggest revelation for me was that everything you see, somebody made it up. Every curriculum you see in college, somebody made it up. College itself, somebody made it up. And eventually it became the norm. But because it's the norm once we were born, it was already the norm, we don't see it as somebody made that up, I can make up something too. We see things that are already here. In our mind, those are finite. There could be nothing new. That's already here. You see what I'm saying? Well, no, bump that. They made it up, they made it up, they made it up, they made it up, and I'm gonna make up my own stuff too. People are like, you want to come and get a life coaching certificate from my company? I was like, no, I'm not gonna get one, but I think I'll make up one for mine. Yeah. I went to a seminar at the stadium when Colin Powell was in it, Laura Bush was there, Forbes, the grandson of Forbes, was there speaking, and I mean, great information, just good stuff, wisdom on top of wisdom. It was when Laura's family was coming out of the White House, just good wisdom. She talked about how, she said, yeah, you don't know I'm a wife, and I got to watch my husband come home after the war, beat him up every day. And you don't think about that when we out here just spewing that president sucks. I get it, but you got a family to go home to. And so she was talking about that. I was like, wow. Then Colin Powell, he said, yeah, I woke up the next day and I had no security. I had no security guards, no press. I was out of office. I was done. And he said it was a rude awakening. Like I was so, and it's just good information. I'm taking notes, but I'm also looking at the room. It's 10,000 people in here. I know how much I paid to be there. So I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I said, man, they made a killing in this piece. And they still upselling stuff. I left that day and called one of my mentors. I said, Buana, hey, we need to start a training company. I'm going to make mine up too.
I like that.
You see what I'm saying? This class, guess what? I made it up. I mean, the information is right, but I made it up. I decided I'm going to create a class. I want to create some more income for myself. So I made it up. I know there is no other class like it. Nobody's teaching people about money in this capacity and in this way. I know that. But you guys get my point?
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say you got to be critical thinkers. Look around you and don't just be like, oh, that's just what that is. No, somebody made that up. Make up your thing. And then sell the heck out of it. So think critically.
I've seen something on, it's amazing what be on like social media and stuff. I've seen something on like Facebook where like somebody have an idea to do something and that already exists. It happens. Like you have to run down a bread aisle.
Yeah, it's 30,000 breads out there. People blow me away with that foolishness. Or when I meet somebody who says, I got this great idea, Joe. I say, well, what is it? I can't tell you yet. You hear people like that? I can't tell you yet. I don't want nobody to take it. You know what I say to that guy? I already know. I can't mess with you. Guess what that tells me about you? You're insecure.
The more you speak about it, the more you're going to hear it, the more it's going to make you want to push and move forward.
I agree. That's my philosophy right there.
You're kind of testing to see what the reaction is of people.
And if somebody takes
If they
it,
reject it, it should make you want to push more.
but watch this.
Somebody might throw something out there where, like take you down a new road.
Right.
Or,
Give
Show you
new
some new stuff,
ideas to
absolutely.
add on to it.
And if somebody does say, I'm going to go do that, guess what? So what? You ain't the first person that's going to do this thing.
Make up your own stuff, right?
I be like, tell people, stop it. It's enough money to go around. And if I tell him, hey, I think about starting up a gym shoe company. I don't draw like he draw. We don't have the same experiences. We don't have the same filter. So even if he started a gym shoe company, it ain't going to be like mine. Oh my God, I told him I was starting a shoe, and he started a gym shoe company. So what? Look at all the gym shoe companies that exist. Did you think it was your idea in the first place? That was my idea. No, it wasn't. Nike did it first. They did it before you. Chuck Taylor did it before that. You see what I'm saying? So there is no real new ideas.
Look at all these shirts we have on.
So, right, and that's my whole point.
Probably 10 different companies.
But what that tells me is, like I could tell when you don't understand money, that tells me you don't understand. I can't mess with you. I see that you're going to be insecure and desperate, and I'm not going to fool with you like that. You cannot be afraid. This is a guy that's afraid of losing. I can't tell you yet. Man, get out of here. And then he might not ever do it. Anyways. And then from a spiritual perspective, to me, I think God do like this. You get an idea and do like this. And just throw it out. And it land on everybody. How many times you've seen something on TV, and I know it's happened to every one of us, you were like, I thought about doing something like that 10 years ago. Guess what? You weren't the only one that had that idea. They just did it and you didn't. So I think God just throw the ideas out like a grains of sand. It lands on the hundreds of thousands of people, but it ain't going to be but a few that actually do it. Because we all done seen something on TV and said, I remember me and someone was talking about doing, we needed something like that. Yeah, and you didn't do it. But they did. You see what I'm saying? So, and then the last thing that we'll chat about before we get ready to go, recognize your own cultural biases where money is concerned. That's a huge problem. It's the cultural biases that we have when it comes from poverty. When you come from not having money, you give it too much power in your life. Like we talked about, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want nobody to know how much you make. It's a secret. You don't talk about it around the table with your kids. Little kids are like, hey, I want to sell lollipops at school. Quit selling stuff all the time. Shady. That ain't shady. Get that man some quarters. Give him some suckers. Let him go sell them suckers. Or what I heard all the time, if you ain't clocking in, that's not no real job. A real job is clocking in and out. Again, this is your cultural biases that people have. And I don't tell either, and we learn this one all the time. You don't ask for money. You don't ask people for money. And that's the thing. How do you get it if you don't ask for it? I don't teach my kids don't ask for money. I say, if you get it, get it. I said, don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't say that it ain't real. I said, but if your uncle will give you $10, ask him. If he's going to give it to you, take it. But I don't teach my boys don't ask for money. Because when I first started my business, asking for money got hard. Because I had to overcome that thought, don't ask for money. And then we'd be like, well, I'll just ask for a little bit of money. It's only $10. $10, man, that thing is worth $150. Well, I'm a little scared to ask for $150. And that's that emotional stuff. And a friend of mine, I had a mentor of mine say, he said, Joseph, why are you asking for $1,000? Why are you not asking for 5 or 10? He said, it takes the same amount of energy to get 5,000 or 10,000 as it does to take 1,000. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. He said, yeah, same amount of energy, same amount of asking, same amount of skill set. So why are you only asking for 1,000 or 100? You could be asking for double that or triple that. So I just asked people. I actually got the other day for 10 grand. All he can say is I ain't got it. And I've asked for all the way up to 30 grand, and I've gotten it. I said, in my mind, it's a game. The next chunk I want to get is 50,000 from somebody. So I'll be asking for 50,000 now. Hey, I'm trying to do something. You got 50,000 I want to put on? What you trying to do? Like, this is my idea. Da-da. But this is the question too. How many people do you know with 50,000? With 10,000? Which we're going to talk about that later on, because you got to adjust who you are, who you're around. So now that you know how to ask for it, the people you ask ain't even got it. I tell people, it ain't hard to make 6 figures. You realize that? You know how easy it is? I'm going to tell you how easy. You ain't got to come back after this if you don't want to. You can make 6 figures this year. It's still January. No, it's not. It's February. But we're still close enough. Find, who in here knows 100 people? Raise your hand if you know 100 people. Raise it. Okay. At least more than half the room know 100 people. Get 100 people to give you $1,000 between now and December 31st. It's pretty simple, ain't it?
Yeah.
Get 100 people to give you $1,000 between now and December 31st. And you will have made your $100,000 this year. That's not, and that's not an impossible feat. It really ain't. I mean, do you get it? Now watch this. You got to have something that they feel like is worth $1,000, or you got to believe in whatever you're asking for $1,000 for really strongly to convince them to give it to you. But at the end of the day, 100 people to give you $1,000 is not that difficult. You can literally, it's 365 days in a, you can do some really good math. It's 365 days in a year. Divide that by 100 people, and now you know how many people a week you need to get to give you $1,000. Now go for the game. You see what I'm saying? If you ask for it, so what? Or you sell them something. But make it a goal at least. People say, I want to make 100 grand. You're not even trying to make 100,000. You ain't even asking for. You'll never get to 100,000 asking every 7th person you see for $99. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be successful, but the cultural biases, the way they feel, the way they see taxes and all of this stuff, and rich people don't pay taxes. No, they pay taxes. They pay taxes the way we all should be paying taxes, without the government telling you what you ought to pay. And it's so funny to me that, and what time is it? It's almost time to go. It's time to go. They do this. I'm getting $3,000 back. Yes. I said, you excited about that $3,000? Yes, I am. I said, you know that's your money. Right. I said, if I owed you 50 and gave it back to you, do you walk around like you hit a lick? No, because you owed me 50. I said, so really what you just did was gave the government an interest-free loan all year long. Now they invested it. They made 200, 300, 400, 500% on it, and then gave you back what you paid in. And you don't think they know how to take out exactly what you would owe? They take out more. It's a refund. Refund means it's your money. Do you see what I'm saying? So all year long they used your money to do whatever they wanted to do. And then they gave you back whatever the overage was, and you felt like, yes. Like, are you kidding? Well, rich people don't pay taxes. No, they just keep theirs all year. They invest their own all year. They write off all the expenses, and then they give the government whatever is left. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk a little bit about taxes at the next class so you can understand. Again, we got to change the way we see money, the way it works. Taxes can be your friend if you know what you're doing. I tell everybody, I don't care if you got a job at AT&T, you need to incorporate a company. Start writing off some stuff. Because that's income. The money you don't have to give Uncle Sam is income back in your house. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't understand taxes, you say, my mama did my taxes. Why? Because she know how. No. She know how to push a few buttons. Somebody know how to do taxes, know how to earn you money. She didn't earn you no money. I said, did she write anything off? Then don't let your mom do your taxes no more. I had a client that said, was it you, Mark? Yeah, Martha's a coaching client. She said, my daughter do my taxes. I said, yeah, she's not this year. Not this year. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? You start to think critically. Change your viewpoint of money. Don't be scared to ask for it. Go get it. Talk about it. Like you gotta shake yourself up on the inside where money is concerned. You guys understand that? Mm-hmm. Any questions?
I thank God for you. I wish I had met you 20 years ago. I would have been off the chain. Yeah.
Well, I was only.
Yeah, you would probably. Because I was the youngest in the class. Yeah, you probably would have been the youngest. But I think when the opportunity presents itself and you let it go, then that opportunity is where you should have started from.
Yes, ma'am.
I like when you said, you talked about the actual a bias coming up as a little girl in my area, in the baby boomer area. If we would ask for money or beg, and that would be say like begging, and that would be a big no,
right?
Big no coming up,
right? Because it is pride.
Yeah, that made you a begging. And I don't have anything. God knows, I love my mother. She's 90 now.
Indeed.
It was coming up. It was like, she didn't sit and budget, but it was a place where when she got the money, she raised 4 kids. She was on welfare, but she did in between jobs and stuff, but it was like, she took the money and she paid the bills. God knows she loved us. We was fed well. Nothing
I understand.
But when it came down to it, actually, before the month was over, in 2 weeks she was broke.
Right. Right.
And I believe in generational curses. God knows I believe it to be passed down. And I look at my nieces and my daughters and stuff like that, and that thing will pass down and continue if you don't stop. If you don't stop it,
right. Because I'm teaching my son stuff I never learned. Like I taught my boys, I said, where does money come from? Because I'm a Christian guy. So I said, where does money come from? And I got to start for me with God. But that's where most Christians stop. You can't stop there, because God ain't magic. He ain't reaching out the sky and putting the money in your hand. Stop that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So I teach my kids, where does money come from? And they say, from God. I said, that's great. I said, but how does God get it to you? And they'll tell you, God gets it to me through other people. I said, that's right. I said, now how do you get it from those other people? And I have to give them a good or a service. And that's how you get it from them. And that's what I teach my kids.
And I wish I would have known that then, as far as my daughter. But I remember my grandson one day standing there. I want to do a lemonade stand. And I really, in my mind was really, I wanted to do it for him, but I was afraid. He's always had that mind.
Right.
And I want to do a lemonade stand. First thing I was thinking, you ain't going to do no lemonade stand. Stand on the end of the corner and and somebody shoot you for a little bit of money.
Right.
That was my fear.
But and I get that, but you just said you don't want to instill in him what was instilled in you. You can't instill that in him. You got to figure out a way to do it, even if you got to stand out there with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't gonna leave him alone, but I'm just saying, just to stand on the corner and for him to
Right.
especially in the neighborhood, I was thinking first the neighborhood.
And you stand there with your arms folded. You ain't got to say nothing. Let him do it. But don't say no because it's not safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You say, absolutely, son, let's go get it.
I thank God for you.
Let's do it. Right.
That bias is really.
It's a real thing, and it will stop you. And you think, I got it, until real pressure comes, until real fear hits, until real things come up, and you realize, oh, I'm not over it. Like you said, I got scared when he asked about that. You know what I'm saying? And you think I'm good until, boom, then you realize, no, I'm not. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta attack those cultural biases where money is concerned, and there's a plethora. They're all over you. They're on layers upon layers upon layers of coping mechanisms where finances are concerned. So, and that's the whole idea of this, is to get rid of that stuff. So you can see money the way it's supposed to be seen. It's just current. It goes in and it goes out. It's just money. It don't make you. It don't break you. It's some come and it goes. But you know how you could. Like I said, you could drop me off in Idaho in a pair of flip flops and shorts, and I will in a year have businesses. I will know who runs the place, and I'll be making my money. Why? Because it's just like opening the refrigerator and making something. Because I know how to use the resources in front of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Robert Kiyosaki says it's good to go broke by the time you're 30, so you can own it all back. You're gonna mess up, but at least if I'm messing up in broke people are messing up. They are messing up. They broke, but check the check, and I gotta wait for this. So yeah, you're messing up. At least when I mess up, it's in the direction of learning how not to be there anymore. You know what I'm saying? At least when I mess up, it's inside of a calculated risk to do better next time. So what if you? No, what if you? I'm not afraid of being broke. I'm afraid of staying broke. So your inability to try anything, you don't want to invest in nothing, you don't want to do nothing. Well, what if I go get a loan and they don't? I ain't got time for that. You're going to stay broke with that attitude. At least I won't stay broke. I may have and it go, and I may have and it go, but you can always not have. Eventually, I'm a half and it go, and I'm a half and it go, and I'm going to realize how to keep it. Along the journey, I'm learning. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. You're just sitting there staying broke. So I'm not afraid of being broke. I'm not afraid of not having no money because I know how to go get it. You ought to be more afraid of staying broke because you don't know how to go get it. You see what I'm saying? And so by the time we hit May, June, July, once we hit May, we're going to start actual homework is go make money. So it'll be like, go make $50 between now and the next class. Go make $100 between now and the next class. And I'm going to give, depending on, after getting to know you guys and know what your talents are and who you are, the numbers will be, they might vary. But that'll be the homework. Like, we're going to do it in real time. So when the class hits, hey, did you make your $200? No, why? What did you do? Who did you ask? What did y'all talk about? Why didn't you? And we're going to deal with it in real time. What was wrong? What went wrong? Why didn't? So what did they say? And then what did they say? You should have said this when they said this. Okay, you got it. You understand? Cool. So now go make the $200 between now and next class. And by the time we're done, I've seen it over time that we've done this class. By the time we're finished, you know how to go make money when you feel like it, because you just practiced it and practiced it. And I've seen one lady got up to like $600, $700. She got good at it, and it changed. That's true empowerment. Now you know how to open your front door, and the resources that I got, the resources that Bill Gates, we all have the same resources. We open the front door, it's the same stuff out there. The same way when your kid go in the refrigerator and say, Mama, you need to eat. I just went grocery shopping yesterday, boy. And you open, well, I don't see nothing to eat. And you move out the way. And the same resources he just looked at, the mama go in there and take the same stuff he just saw, grab it, and she creates something beautiful with it. It's the same way when you open your front door and you look outside. It's the same downtown. It's the same north side. It's the same west side. How can I go in those sides of town and come up with money, and people that live over there don't know how? Same resources. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what the practice is. By the time we're done, you're going to know how to open your front door and go make money when you feel like it. And then you just go higher and higher and higher. I remember when I first asked for my first grant. I remember when I asked for $3,000. I remember when I asked for $5,000. I remember when I asked somebody for $8,000. I remember when I asked for somebody for 25 and 30. And I said, okay, bet, I'm gonna do 50 now. I got 30, I'm gonna see if I can get 50. And I'm gonna keep going until I get better and better and better at it. It's so easy for me to come up with a couple $1,000s now. It ain't always that easy to come up with, you know, 20,000, 30,000. But 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, that's not hard to do. That's not hard to do. I can do that almost in my sleep. I'm trying to master coming up with 50 grand. Because I know dudes that can make a few phone calls and make 50 grand. That ain't hard for them. I want to be there. So I just keep practicing till I get better and better and better at it. You understand what I'm saying? And all the stuff I'm talking to you about, the same stuff that I went through, the same things that my mentors taught me, the same seminars and workshops I went to for years and years and years and years and years and years. I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on education. Not education to teach me how to go get a job, but education that taught me how to make money with my own two hands. And you can't be afraid of it. Anyways, the next class is the first Saturday in March. Welcome to Harvest Group Institute. We are a Bible-based training company. We like to help people go out and achieve their goals. And relationally, financially, socially, health and wellness-wise, we feel like we may not know everything, but we know some things. We've been able to go out and amass some level of success. We partner with different people in the communities, doctors and lawyers and financial people, and they come out also and they talk with you guys and try to help with resources.